As India approaches Union Budget 26-27, the Finance Minister faces a defining challenge to sustain strong economic growth while reinforcing fiscal discipline, tax certainty, and trust in the system. This budget is less about big announcements and more about getting the fundamentals right: clarity, stability, and predictability for taxpayers and businesses alike. India's fiscal consolidation journey has been encouraging. The fiscal deficit has fallen below 4.8% in financial year 2025 and is projected to move towards 4.4% in financial year 2026, with a credible medium-term roadmap to below 4%. Given recent tax rationalization measures, Budget 2026 is unlikely to focus on further rate cuts. The emphasis is expected to shift towards consolidation, simplification, and structural reforms, rather than headline-driven tax giveaways. A key priority will be the smooth implementation of the new Income Tax Act 2025, effective from April 2026. At this stage, taxpayers and businesses seek stability, not experimentation. Reducing litigation, restoring certainty, and simplifying compliance will have a far greater impact than introducing frequent amendments or new provisions. One immediate reform opportunity lies in the TDS and TCS framework, which has become increasingly fragmented and compliance-heavy. Consolidating multiple rates into 3 or 4 broad categories, along with a unified year-wise electronic tax ledger for TDS, TCS, and advanced tax, would significantly ease compliance and improve cash flows for the businesses. From a business and investment standpoint, manufacturing incentives remain critical. Extending the 15% concessional corporate tax regime for new manufacturing companies beyond March 2024, ideally till March 2027, would reinforce India's competitiveness amid global supply chain realignments. For foreign investors, tax certainty is as important as tax rates. A rule-based presumptive taxation regime for foreign companies, particularly in PE-sensitive sectors, could significantly reduce dispute around profit attribution. Limiting retrospective treaty actions and rationalizing interest deduction rules would further strengthen investor confidence. On litigation and enforcement, there is growing consensus around recriminalizing minor and procedural defaults, eliminating dual penalties for the same lapse, and reserving prosecution strictly for cases of willful tax evasion. Capital markets and emerging asset classes also need clarity. Clear tax treatment for virtual digital assets, certainty on ULIPs and capital gains, and targeted incentives for green and sustainable projects while aligning tax policies with India's long-term development priorities. On the GST front, expectations remain pragmatic: improved input tax credit flow, rationalized credit matching, timely refund of accumulated credits on businesses' closure, and protection for compliant taxpayers from supply-side defaults. GST must continue its evolution from a compliance-centric framework to a truly business-friendly consumption tax. In conclusion, Union Budget 2026 should be a budget of clarity, confidence, and continuity, moving from complexity to simplicity, from disputes to certainty, and from short-term fixes to long-term economic resilience. Done right, it can firmly position India as a predictable, competitive, and a future-ready economy. Thank you very much.